The phonograph, and later the gramophone, could capture complete performances.
You are listening to Mid-Valley Mutations.
But it was to take another breakthrough in recording equipment before those performances could be changed.
And you are listening to Mid-Valley Mutations here on KMUZ. And tonight's program, the organization of sound, field recordings, and musique concrete. Because I'm kind of interested in this form of music. It's something new. It's something, to me anyway, something I haven't really spent a lot of time with in terms of the classics. And so I'm kind of getting into it. So we just heard part one. That was Etude Musique. We heard in that section John Barrique, Pierre Henry, Pierre Schaeffer, and then Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, and then closed with a little bit of Negative Land to bring it up to modern-ish times, 1980. If you can believe it. There's a lot of people named Pierre in the early days of musique concrete, which I find very, very interesting. And I'm not quite sure if there's like a paper on that already, or if it's just something that I'm obsessed with because I'm noticing it. But there it is. As we like to do on Mid-Valley Mutations, it's time to get mutated. It's time to get a little bit weird. You know, we're kind of pursuing some very odd things throughout the show. And you know, the backbone of field recordings and musique concrete are these raw recordings that they then transform into various different kinds of audio. And then so I thought it'd be nice to try to actually perform some of this here on the program. And we were nice enough to actually get a few submissions here and there. So I'm going to try to play a couple of those throughout the beginning section of this program. And then I'm actually going to try to provide my own little mix of things for the program. So we're going to get into some cool audio, and I think it's time for some fiasco.
For instance, a lav mic placed right below a rotating fan will make it sound like a giant machine. Shaking and rattling as if it were 60 feet tall inside a giant wind tunnel. As always, experimentation and careful listening is key. If you are working with already recorded material, an interesting approach is to work with different sounds, but that evoke similar emotions. And perhaps it is no accident that Schaeffer had a background in broadcasting and engineering as well. This technique of using very different sounds that evoke similar or complementary emotions is also often used by film sound designers. Star Wars sound designer Ben Burtt often speaks of this in his process.
Oh, God. Really? Whatever.
For us, keeping our marriage first and foremost in our lives is really important.
Yeah,
Being able to
really.
get away to Sybaris.
By working with familiar sounds, combining them in unexpected ways and putting them to picture. He has been able to create some of the most successful and iconic sounds in the history of film. Sound techniques and manipulations. While the technology available to the pioneers of musique concrete was fairly primitive, composers managed to come up with a number of creative methods for sound manipulation and creation. A non-exhaustive but comprehensive list of these would include vary speed, changing the speed of the tape to change the pitch of the sound, reversal, playing the tape backwards, comb filtering, by playing the sound against a slightly delayed version of itself, various resonant frequencies are brought in or out. Tape loops. In order to create loops and grooves out of otherwise non-rhythmic material, composers would repeat certain portions of a recording. Splicing. Splicing. To change the order of the material. Or insert new sounds within a recording. Filtering. To bring in or out different frequencies of a sound and change its quality and texture. Layering. Either done by recording multiple sources down to a new reel or by mixing them in real time via a mixing board.